The number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise globally and right here in Guyana. Therefore, we encourage everyone to practice social distancing. Wear a mask if you have to leave your homes and wash your hands thoroughly and frequently as we all strive to stop the spread of the virus. Welcome to InfoHub for Monday, July 27. Thanks for joining us. The Court of Appeal is set to rule in the Masinga-Jones versus Georgetown matter on Thursday, July 30. The appellate is maintaining that the Guyana Elections Commission must utilize valid votes only to determine the outcome of the March 2 elections. Details in this report.
After an hours-long battle among lawyers on Saturday, the Court of Appeal will hand down its ruling on Thursday, either upholding the judgment of the High Court or determining, like a private citizen Masinga-Jones, that the national vote recount is deeply flawed and that the Commission must only use the declarations of the 10 returning officers to decide the March 2 polls. Arguments on Saturday commenced with Trinidad-based attorney senior counsel John Jeremy submitting that the elections body went beyond the Constitution when it introduced Order 60 of 2020, which guided the 33-day national vote recount. He argued that that very order was established using the unconstitutional Section 22 of the Elections Laws Amendment Act. He said it was unconstitutional for GECOM to assume lawmaking powers in this regard.
In any event, Section 22, by its purport, seeks to amend. This is what it does. It seeks to amend the Representation of the People's Act, the National Registration Act, or any relevant subsidiary legislation. It clearly excludes from that the National Assembly Validity of Elections Act, which is the act that operationalizes Section 163 of the Constitution. What the court downstairs could not do, what this court cannot countenance, is a wider interpretation of Section 22 than it purports to have.
Supporting the submissions of Jones, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senior Counsel Basil Williams concluded that the declarations by the returning officers, which were used by the Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, are still in place and could not be discarded by the Commission and be replaced by the invalidated national recount. He said, unlike what has been purported by the Commission, the elections body must act only under advice of the CEO.
We respectfully submitting mutatis mutandis, Your Honors, that in this case, the chairman of the Elections Commission, whose position is merely formal, all being politically elected, simply to follow the advice given and act on it. For example, there's a danger of reading words into the constitutional provision. And all those words that were read in, the CEO can't act on his own. He's not a country, he doesn't have a constitutional mandate, etc. The law frowns on, the courts frowned on that type of insertion into the clear, plain, ordinary meaning of constitutional provisions.
Masinga-Jones, through her battery of lawyers, have been arguing that the Elections Commission had erred when it ordered its CEO to overlook Guyana's supreme law and present a report based only on the recount numbers, when the entire process agreed to by both President David Granger and opposition leader Barda Jagdeo unearthed massive irregularities. The appeal by Jones is being heard by President of the Appellate Court Justice Don Gregory and Justice Rishi Prasad, along with High Court Judge Priyas Unirain Bihari. The judges will hand down their decisions at 11 a.m. on Thursday. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
His Excellency President David Granger is saddened at the death of former Prime Minister of Barbados, Owen Seymour Arthur. He was 70 years old. Arthur served as Barbados' fifth Prime Minister for 3 consecutive terms from 1994 to 2008. He died on the morning of July 27 at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Barbados after a brief period of hospitalization. The former Barbadian Prime Minister recently led an 11-member Commonwealth Observer mission for Guyana's general and regional elections, which were held in March this year. In February, Arthur and the members of his observer team called on the President at the Ministry of the Presidency. His Excellency, the President, extends heartfelt sympathy to his wife Julie, daughters Sabrina and Leah, other relatives and friends, and the people of Barbados. Residents of constituency 14 in Georgetown, specifically Roxton Burnham Gardens, have been assured that their leaders have their best interests at heart. This assurance was given during a walkthrough of the area on Sunday by Georgetown's Mayor, His Worship Ubraj Narain, and Councillor Denroy Tudor. More in this report.
As the Mayor of Georgetown, Ubraj Narain, and Councillor Denroy Tudor walked through Roxton Burnham Gardens, they were both pleased with recent work done by the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA.
I am here with the council and team to listen to the resident concern. We had done some work in this area in terms of drainage, collaboration with NDIA and the Main City Council.
Mayor Narain made it clear that it is the council's duty to ensure residents were comfortable and receiving good service.
It is our duty to come and ensure that the residents in Roxton Burnham Garden, they're doing well. So far that we did receive some complaints in terms of the alleyways, so we will have to work on that now. But so far, so good.
In the meantime, Councillor Tudor said even as persons are excited about some of the work happening within the area, there are still some issues that need addressing.
Looking at reevaluating the drainage concerns, this is something that is affecting the entire Georgetown as well. But drainage, I think that is one of the most prevailing concerns. I know some of the residents would have lauded the works that were done in terms of infrastructure, wherein the culverts that were done a couple months ago, as well as the lights as well that were put in place.
Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
More news after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Guyana will be observing World Day Against Trafficking in Persons on July 30. The emphasis being placed on migrant workers who are lured here under the guise of well-paid job opportunities only to be manipulated and abused financially, physically, or sexually. The Counter-Trafficking in Persons Unit, or CTIP, of the Ministry of Social Protection is spearheading a week of activities leading up to the day, which is being observed under the theme Embracing Diversity, Reducing Vulnerabilities, Promoting Safe Migration. To kickstart the week-long events, blue balloons will be released on the seawalls on Monday, July 27 by TIP survivors and ministry officials. The balloons represent the grief of those who were trafficked, whilst acting as a reminder of the cold-heartedness of individuals who exploit their fellow human beings for their own personal gains. To get the public involved, the CTIP unit will initiate Tip in the Streets, a Vox Populi which will allow members of the public on Tuesday, July 28, to express their views on tip-related issues in Guyana. The exercise will also facilitate the CTIP team in distributing pertinent information and encouraging persons to make reports of any suspected tip activity. Members of the public will also be able to join the conversation with the TIP team during a live Facebook panel discussion titled COVID and its impact on trafficking in persons and the migrant population in Guyana. The week-long celebration culminates on Friday, July 31, with hampers being distributed to TIP survivors. For more information on other activities, please visit DPI's website and social media accounts. The Guyana Marketing Corporation is ensuring that local products continue to stock the shelves, whilst ensuring that strict health measures are in place amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Find out more in this report.
The Guyana Marketing Corporation over the past months was able to keep business afloat through retailing of local produce even amid COVID-19. Manager of the Guyana shop, Kevin Macklingam, told InfoHub in an interview the main goal of the agency was to limit the sale of perishable produce.
Amid the COVID pandemic, We had asked persons to limit themselves at the beginning when supplying goods to us, and at the same time, we limited the stocks as well that were being supplied to us. Taking into consideration our working hours were drastically, cut in half, so we were not open like every day. We're just opening 3 days a week and half days.
He noted that while the responsibility to properly package and transport produce was solely placed on suppliers, all health precautions were taken when the produce arrived at the shop.
When the goods got here, in handling purposes, we had gloves. We took precaution. We were wearing masks and sanitizing our hands, as well as persons coming into the shop would have had been sanitized as well. Our prevention, they said that the COVID would have been in bottles and glass and these things um, for duration of period of time. So we had gloves that we were handling these items with when stocking them on the shelves.
For InfoHub, Ayana George.
Persons will soon be blown away from the Street Sounds Out of Africa concert, spotlighting music that features the African experience in the Caribbean post-emancipation. This was revealed by Administrator of the National School of Music, Andrew Tyndall.
What we're going to be showcasing is the music that was developed by Africans in the Caribbean post-emancipation, because as you would know, the enslaved Africans were not allowed to practice their culture here. So post-slavery, what you saw was the development of a culture influenced by their African roots, but the development of a new culture. So we have things like reggae, shanto, calypso, soca, some of our folk music.
He added that the concert will be aired on August 2nd at 6 p.m. on NCN television, as well as on its social media and the Department of Culture's social media pages. Tyndall told InfoHub that this approach taken by the department aims to garner an understanding and appreciation of the African culture post-slavery with the help of well-known local artists.
We'll have performances from the likes of Mark Batson, Jackie Jacks, the Yoruba singers, Charmaine Blackman, Alabama, Clifford Charles, Alabama, Diana Chapman, Tanisha De Freitas, and some other artists. So I think it's a good concert because we're focusing on a number of genres, like I said, genres that would have come out of the slavery experience of the African. And so it's Caribbean flavored music that was developed in the Caribbean, but it obviously developed out of the African experience. And so we have some of the best artists available. And this is something that normally you'd have to pay a lot of money to see.
The administrator noted that while persons were excited about the department's annual Emancipation Day celebration at the National Park and Berbice, this year's observation will not disappoint. Tyndall is encouraging persons to view all of the department's planned activities to get a better understanding of African history. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
Remember to do your part to ensure that you do not put yourself at risk during this time. If you have a cough, fever, or difficulty breathing, please seek medical care early, but call those hotline numbers first. That's all for today. Connect with us on our social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, as we bring you the latest and important news related to COVID-19 and much more. You can also subscribe to our website, dpi.gov.gy. Your Bridge Report is up next. Goodbye for now.